Hi, this is Anna Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. So I love my showers. My showers are the best things because that's where like 99% of my epiphanies happen. I'm either sleeping and it's 3 a.m. or I'm in the shower and I'm like, oh my God. And mostly it's because I smoke weed prior. And then I use the water to like cleanse and do this whole manifestation thing. And I'm like, just show me the next step. So I have been trying to figure out divination for a long time. Not me personally wanting to, okay, no, I really wanted to learn how to do it. But I wanted to know where astrology, like I was trying to really figure out astrology. Now, prior to 2019, it was dead to me. Astrology was like, it was crap. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm a scientist. I'm all physics. Like, I don't even want to bother with astrology. And then in 2019, my sister moved in and she's all about astrology. And she was accurate with a couple things. And I went, interesting. So I entered into an unbiased point of view and I went, let's go ahead and examine the evidence. So I started accumulating data. And I was on dating apps in 2020. Well, 2020 to 2022. And so how I use dating apps is I've got 800 men per day. Look at all the research subjects. So I would pick a topic and I would just go through. And I had like a list of research and experiments that I did. One of them was, for scientific purposes, tell me your sign. And I got anywhere from men just coming right out and telling me this is what I am to, for scientific purposes. Yes, absolutely. For scientific purposes. I am huge on physics. I am huge in science. I do psychology. And I give some of my credentials and they're like, oh, and I'm like, I am truly doing this for scientific purposes to determine if there is a pattern and if it's consistent. Yes, there is a pattern and it is consistent. Does that mean astrology is something to be like, whoa? No, it's not. And I will explain why. So where astrology really got me interested is when I was going over the curriculum of Plato in Plato's Academia. One of the things that really stood out to me was the fact that he had astrology next to astronomy. And I went, that's fascinating. Now, I'm looking at Plato and his beautiful brain, and I'm looking at second perspectives. And I'm going, well, Plato was not a second perspective. Plato was like a 12th perspective plus. At least. Pythagoras was a 12th perspective plus. So I'm going, yeah, these were 12 perspectives living in a second perspective world. Hence, Aristotle's physics. So I'm sitting here absorbing all of this information. And I'm trying to figure out how much validation there is in it. And this really, really interested me is after the Nicene Creed was created in the Nicene Christianity in 380 AD, the very first thing they did was burn Alexandria. True story. They declared Nicene Christianity as the official Holy Roman Empire Christian religion. And then they completely destroyed. Now, they didn't just burn the library. They didn't just ransack the museum. Oh, no, they burned the entire fucking city to the ground. In fact, one of the statements made, according to the legend, the history, was that the emperor said, I want their blood to reach my knees. And I'm going, whoa, what was so, Alexandria, that they annihilated everybody in the city. I mean, women, children, the whole damn city was annihilated. Now, if you know anything about Rome, that's unusual. Rome doesn't do that. What Rome does, rape, pillage, plunder, and take slaves. That's what they did. They did not annihilate to the point of complete abomination. Oh, but they did with Alexandria. Now that's an anomaly. And for me, I'm going, ooh. So then the second thing they did, the second thing they did after they created the Nicene Creed was this. They made astrology illegal. And I went, whoa, why? Why? What was so great about astrology that they made it illegal right off? And according to the stories, it is because the emperors did not like divination. They did not like hearing about their own demise coming to an end. So I'm telling you right now, astrology during Plato's time period, the astrology that he taught was partnered with physics and astronomy. And I'm going, whoa, physics, astronomy, and astrology. That's a really fucking powerful duo there, man. Now, astrology means the logic of the stars, and logic means mathematical order. So I'm going, interesting. It's a map. And astronomy, onomy, I believe that means naming. So it's like the naming of the stars. Astronomy is actually the naming of the celestial bodies. And then physics, well, we all know what physics is. So I'm looking at this going, this is fascinating, fascinating. And I could not figure out what it was about astrology, divination. And I wanted this whole, I'm going to revive Plato's astrology, but I got to figure out the ingredients first. And I couldn't figure it out because and this is something called intradiversity, or no, it's not. It's it's interdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary is it's what I do. It's when you take multiple masteries and you combine them into a perspective cocktail of subjects. And philosophy is actually the interdisciplinary of all the subjects. So one person literally learns all the subjects and puts them into one brain. That is my life goal, and I'm working on it. I currently have everything except like the hard sciences left. That's all I've got left. I'm very, very excited about this. So I'm at the end now. And I'm at the end. And hey, I did all of this in the first 40 years of my life. I'm very, very excited now because I've got and the rest will go very fast. I'm very excited. So, and this was what they cranked out of Alexandria on the dollar. Like they had no problem manufacturing people with these kind of brains. And there's nothing special. They just knew how to unlock learning because they knew how to learn and teach. So they're cranking out super geniuses like this. And I'm going, all right. So I've got one subject here that's on the list that I don't have access to because the astrology that we have today is so not it. So I'm going, if I'm going to do the mastery of all of these subjects, I need astrology according to Plato to figure out how he pulled this off. I'm in the shower and it occurred to me and it all came to me and I went, well, I feel like a real idiot because the answer is in our beautiful, beloved Sherlock Holmes. Hound of the Baskervilles. The only Sherlock Holmes I ever read. Hound of the Baskervilles. I feel really stupid right now. I will explain why. I was 12 and I was reading The Hound of the Baskervilles. And Watson was evaluating this murder scene. And he's looking it over and he's trying to document things and he's writing it all down. And Holmes walks in and immediately drops, "This is who did it." And Watson is like, "Oh my God, you can see the future." And Sherlock Holmes goes, "No, it's logic, my dear Watson." And I said the words, "I want to be smart like Sherlock Holmes." The missing ingredient of divination is logic. I've been using it my whole fucking life. This is how I divine. It's not future telling at all. I'm sitting in the shower going, what is it? What? My siblings thought I could tell the future. It would be a thing where they would give me a present and I could touch it and immediately tell them what it was. They thought it was divination. It was one of the reasons why I was abused. It was one of the reasons why I was hidden, is because I could divine. I knew shit I was not supposed to know. So my parents, with their second perspective fear and superstition, assumed that I was a seer. Technically, according to a second perspective, I am a seer, but a 12th perspective would go, "You're just highly logical." Yeah, I know. But when you are this logical, I love chess. Don't be surprised. I love chess. I mean, I was studying Fischer's moves when I was like 12, 13, 14 years old. I love Bobby Fischer. I wanted to be Bobby Fischer. So I studied chess a lot, really a lot. And the thing with chess is two things. The first thing is being able to predict so many moves ahead with so many variables on the board and all the different geometrical ways that each, it's geometry and logic and strategy. Most people don't realize it's also geometry. And the further ahead you can see and predict their move based off of game playing, geometry, strategy, war. Oh my God, do I see it? Wow. Chess is just the art of war with geometry. It's really amazing. And if you can figure out their game style, which moves, which plays they prefer, you can annihilate anyone on the board. But if you apply that same rule in life, so I'm going to pull you by the hand and take you into my mind for a moment. I see the entire world as dominoes. I have always seen the world in dominoes. And I can see every domino setup in the world. I can move dominoes and shift dominoes. I can deliberately say, I want this one over here, and I want this one over here. And I strategically set them up in my life so that when I go, dunk, they all fall right down precisely where I want them to each and every time. It's logic. It's chess. I've been setting this up literally since, when did I start playing with the dominoes? 4. I could see the dominoes when I was 4. It's how I always get my way. I just align the dominoes. Yeah. I align the dominoes. I set the last domino in place. I've been building this thing, the healing garden, for over 30 years now. And it's all just aligned dominoes. It's mathematical. I have no urgency in my life because I can see the math. And that's really what it is. Divination is mathematics. It's physics. It is pattern. It's rhythm. It's maps of astronomy and astrology, which are really just clocks. And because clocks move in a very mathematical, predictable time period over 365 days, it's really fucking predictable. But then there is logic. And this is the part that I was missing. So when you know mathematics, physics, rhythm, maps, astronomy, and the stars, sociology, with human behavior and the 12 perspectives, you have divination. Easy peasy pumpkin pie. And sure enough, I've got a lot of second, third, fourth perspectives. Yes. Can you please speak? I cannot read lips. I cannot read lips. Do not try. I see walking. Write it down or text me. I can't read lips. I'm not doing this game. So it was this massive understanding of divination where when I realized that logic was the key piece, because that's something that you learn in like philosophy 101. That's not something, the whole thing is logic. It never occurred to me that this whole thing, this is the formula. So, and there was this moment when I was studying divination where I sat down, ay caramba. There was this thing with divination where I was like laying it all out, trying to figure out what am I missing? What am I not understanding here? And I was looking, it was this massive realization that astronomy and astrology, I'm not going to say this again, that astrology means the mathematical mapping of the stars. Like that's all it is. It's literally the star maps, and it's the planets. It's astronomy. I'm curious what astronomy translates directly to. I'm pretty sure it's the naming, but I want to astronomy definition. The branch of science that deals with physical universe as a whole. Oh, that's such an archaic. Star arranging. I need to walk through, but your computer is angled at the hallway. Why does this fucking matter? Why? Okay, so here, I'm going to there. Now it's no longer on the hallway. There. It's you're not on screen. You're not on screen. Okay. Apparently I need to, it was not pointed at you, but I understand. Now, logic of the stars, mathematical order, map. So when I realized that astronomy and astrology was literally just mapping of the stars, and that the calendar, like the whole thing is just a fucking clock. Like it really became anticlimactic. And I'm like, okay, but how did they do the divination? That would be the logic. And it was so funny because I was afraid of the logic. I was afraid to deduce it. And I don't know why. I had a whole conversation with myself in the shower where I was like, play it out. Look at the cognitive core. And this is what I noticed. So here's the cognitive core. You have the cognitive core. I wish I had like a whiteboard. Is there a whiteboard option here? Because that would be really great. Pop out dashboard, manage. Can I do this like in the middle of my thing? That would be awesome if I could do like a whiteboard thing. All right, so you have the cognitive core. And you got your identity. You have your beliefs. I'm sorry, you have your values, and then you have your beliefs. Okay. And then you have your naming. So when you have information going into your beliefs, that breaks off into like cognitive core processing. You get information that goes into your belief system, and it has to be processed. The first thing is shock to the system. Oh my God, we have new data, people. And we go through this literally 140,000 times a day, approximately. There's shock and awe at data. And then it goes into the next stage, which is, are you sure? This is called verification of data, otherwise known as the negotiation stage. And then there is an inventory. The inventory determines if this verification and new data is going to result in a loss, a gain, neutrality. Now, I was wrong. There is a fourth option. The fourth option is unknown, undefined. It is when, this is big, this is like groundbreaking big, this is it right here. It is when you don't know if this is going to be a loss, a gain, or neutral. And when my partner said to me, I'm moving to Manhattan, I had no way of knowing if this was going to be a loss, a gain, or neutrality. It fell into the undefined category because I do not have a defined self under that circumstance. Immediately, this launched fear, which is the undefined self, which launched story sickness, which was an imagined fictitious probability, improbability. I call this improbable fiction. This is all story sickness, by the way, which is a branch of PTSD. This is future PTSD is what I call it. And I'm going, what the fuck? Why am I having a problem with this? So I did my inner work, and I'm like, what's really going on? And I tore all that apart. And I'm like, clearly this is a problem with me and the undefined self. And I'm going, I know this. This is neutral. This is like, why does it even affect me? I know I'm putting myself into his story. What the fuck is really going on here? And I realized what was really going on. This is beautiful. Are you ready for this? I love my partner. I think he is the bee's knees. I think of all the people in the world, he is the best. I really, truly believe this. I think he is fucking awesome. I cannot imagine anyone else not liking this man, not loving him, not wanting him. I can't imagine it. because I'm looking at it going, well, of course, I love him. Why wouldn't everybody love him? I was projecting myself into all of these hypothetical other situations. And I said, well, if I were them, I would never let that one go. Oh, there's so much to unpack here. There is so much here to unpack. Where I just went, oh, I am projecting myself into future possible alternate lovers that he may or may not have, and immediately fabricating these improbable fictions, assuming that I am the center of his lovers' stories. Oh, yeah, this is deep fucking psych shit, and I'm enjoying it. Oh, I projected my own fear because I can't imagine anyone not absolutely going nuts over him. That's not the reality. And then there's the actuality. And I'm going, why the fuck am I being carried on with these massive improbable fictions? In fact, every time one of us, any of us, is confronted with a specific threat, it's because we see ourselves reflected in that person. We're literally competing with a fictional version of ourself. Wrap your head around that. And I'm going, whoa, this is deep. And I can see all of the similarities now. That my partner literally chose a spit-in image of me right after we broke up. Wow, the subconscious mind is really, really transparent. And I went, so I'm really just jealous of myself? Jealousy is when you see yourself, but you hate yourself. Because you're looking in a mirror. Jealousy is self-loathing projected onto a doppelganger. Yeah. Self-loathing projected onto a doppelganger. Interesting, isn't it? And then I had a conversation with myself that went like this. So if you're projecting yourself into all of these future improbable fictions where you would never allow this man to go if he would have you, follow the logical deduction, Anna. It's not going to have any effect on me whatsoever. No, it's not. I'm neutral. It's not going to change anything. And now you have the defined self. No effect. Something's changing. And I'm trying to figure out what it is, but oh my God, do I feel it changing. Follow the logical deduction. God, this is really different because I feel it shifting and I can't, the words don't exist yet to explain what I'm looking at. All right, let me try and do this. E.B. White, let's do baby words here, small words. My emotions are changing to security. I'm feeling security. But when did it happen? Not when I realized I loved him. When I realized that I projected myself into his future. But as the images of other women. That would result in I would never let him go. There is something there happening in the subconscious mind, and I can't figure it out. It was at the moment that I realized I would never let him go. Why would that make me feel loved? Why does that decision give me security? God, I wish I had another one of me that I could speak to again. God, I wish I had my alters. That would be so much easier. I could just talk to them again and we could just like Gestalt chair therapy this shit. I would never let him go. And that gives me security. Why would my decision to never leave him make me feel stable in a relationship? There's so much Don Quixote-ish mirroring happening here that I can't figure out the core of this. What am I looking at? I feel like I'm standing in a room of mirrors. And I keep looking at all the mirrors. And I'm going, what am I missing? Geometry. Geometry. I'm standing in a room of mirrors. All right, this just turned over to the lab. I mean, it's always been the lab, but this is really the lab now, people. All right, now come on. I'm in a mirror room. And it's just me. I choose. I would never let him go. I would. Why does my decision on what I choose, let's reverse it. I would let him go. Why would that rip me apart? But it's not like that. It's something different. Mirrors, mirrors. Optic. I need to go into optic physics. Optical physics. This is something else. This is something to do with my optics. Optical physics is the study and the fundamental property of light and its interaction with matter. This includes classical optical phenomena such as reflection, diffraction, and interference. Reflection. There's something there. Refraction. All right, what's diffraction? Diffraction meaning, I want definition with physics. Diffraction means, thank God. Oh, trig, I am so happy to see math. Of course there's math. Distance between slits. Diffraction angle. What does diffraction mean? The spreading of waves around obstacles. Behavioral defenses are diffractions. A behavioral, an invasive perspective. No, Doc, you're wrong. It's not an alternate timeline. It's a diffraction. Mental illnesses are diffractions. There isn't an off switch because it's a diffraction. Stay with me, people. This is the spreading out of waves as they pass through an aperture or around objects. What if we change the perspective on our behavior? Our behavior is a mirror. We reflect, which means our behavior also diffracts. We see, we do. It's reflection. It isn't mimic, mirror, repetition, respond. It's mirror, that's mirroring. We call it mirroring. This is optical physics. Is the study in the fundamental properties of light and how it interacts with matter. Refraction. Oh, let me Google that. Let's see what refraction is. Refraction, the fact of following light, radio waves being deflected. Oh, okay, you've already got that. In passing obliquely through the difference between change in direction. Refracting. Logic. Identity. Values. Beliefs. It's a diffraction. It's a refraction. The you of I is the mirror to the I of I, which then creates a reflection. All right, this is where the universe gets funny. You beautiful fucking bitch. Oh, this is the universe's sense of humor. Oh my God, I gotta show you guys something. This is fucking hilarious. Oh my God. Are you ready for this one? Oh my God, this is such fucking gorgeous genius. It's a triangle. My favorite band, one of them, well, not my favorite band. My second favorite band is Pink Floyd. Oh, you beautiful fucking bitches. It's a philosopher's compass, which is what I'm doing right now. This is so fucking weird. It's the eye of I being reflected. Is that literally how they, wow. It's the I of I with you of I that we use then as a reflection. Wow. And then you have a refraction occurs when you have trauma. It isn't a refraction is an invasive perspective. More specifically, an invasive perspective is a refraction. There. Wow. This is fucking hilarious. The action of, okay, I know physics. The combination of two or more electromagnetic waveforms to form a resultant wave in which the complacent is either reinforced or canceled. Interference in physics. Interference is a phenomenon in which two coherent waves are combined by adding their intensity or displacement with, well, that would just be abuse. Abuse is the interference with the reflection. Abuse is the interference with the reflection that causes the refraction, the invasive perspective. It's optic physics. The I of I and the you of I is the reflection. Now, let's go back over to psychology. That mirroring. This is driving me crazy. I'm so close, I can feel it. Jealousy, see yourself, hate yourself. It's not a projection. It's optic physics. It's the psychology of optic physics. Come on. All right, I'm gonna think. Insecurity. Insecurity. Why do I feel so secure again? I mean, I feel fucking solid, but why? I want to know why. Come on. What am I missing? Security. Neutrality. Protected myself with the future image of others. I would never let him go. I feared him rejecting me because I rejected him. I feared him rejecting me because I was rejecting him. But he's my mirror. I rejected him. Therefore, he would reject me. I would X. Therefore, he would. Come on, this is logic. I gotta figure this out. Security is the knowing. Wow. Security is knowing of the future self. You have to know the past self. You have to know the present self. And you have to know the future self. And the future self gives you security. The present self gives you confidence. And the past self gives you definition. Wow. I feared rejecting him in the future. I feared rejecting him. What changed? I would never let him go. It was realizing I would never let him go. That's why people are insecure. Because you realize you would never. You rely on yourself to not change. Not on this. I was afraid of myself changing. It was the knowing. I know I would never let him go. He's too rare. He can out-logicize me. He's fucking rare. It was my own insecurity of my own self and who I was becoming. It's knowing who I'll be tomorrow. It's knowing who I'll be in 10 years. It's knowing who I'll be in 20 years. It's knowing it. That is security. I'm going to go back and watch this video like 18 million times and document so many different aspects of this. So there's 4 aspects of the cognitive core when you get into the inventory. It's the lost, gain, neutrality, but the undefined. The undefined breaks off into fear. The fear then leads to improbable fiction, where you project yourself into a different future. That's what the projection and the manifestation is. But if you don't have the defined self, you can't do that. You need the defined self in the past. You need the defined self in the now. And you need the defined self in the future. And if you don't know who you are, you certainly can't do any of these. You need 4. The defined self is made up of who you were, who you are, and who you are going to be, regardless of change. Security in a relationship is knowing yourself with so much certainty. Wow. I have such a desire to reach out to him right now, and I don't know why. It isn't what he was thinking at all. It was all about what I was thinking. And I laid out the divination path, logic, with mathematics. And I played out the hypothesis. Logically, where he is, where I am, where everything is, knowing our past, our present, our future, I know exactly where this is going to go. It's logical, which is why I still call him my partner. because I can see logically what this is going to end up in. It's not manifestation at all. Well, this is weird. It's really weird. Why would you manifest it? It's already happened. It's already logical. It's the knowing. It's knowing. Oh, fuck, is it knowing? It's divination. But it's not divination. Divination and manifestation. What's the difference? Divination is being able to see the future. Well, no, it's not. It's just logical deduction. So what's manifestation? Deciding what the future is going to be. With such certainty, because you know it, because you can see it. Interesting. Wow. This is like, okay. So manifestation is the choosing of the future. There's a third piece. I know I can read the math, universe. You're loud. It's obvious. Mathematics says. So there's divination, there's manifestation, and then there's another part of this here, and I don't know it yet, but there's definitely another part of it. And I just can't figure it out yet. Just give me a minute. So there's divination. Well, divination is the knowing. Manifestation is the choosing. Oh, it's the becoming. It's the doing. What's the doing? Interesting. I don't think a lot of people focus on the doing. I don't think a lot of people focus on the doing. Interesting. You know, you choose, you do. I know what the future is going to be. Well, I'm going to choose what the future is. You choose what the future is. You know what the future is going to be. You do what the future is, and you choose. Oh, there you go. It's the doing. It's the doing. It's the part that almost everybody ignores. They pray instead of do. You don't do that. It's the choosing, the knowing, and the doing. Wow, this is fascinating. What is this? Manifestation, divination, astrology. No, this isn't astrology. This is the mapping of the stars. So what is this? Because it's just math. Chess. Chess, that's what this is. This is chess. It's knowing how the game is going out, choosing precisely how it's going to be played out, and then doing it by actually picking up the piece and then making the move. Execution. All right, let's go over to business. Now in business, this is a business plan. That's all that this is. It's a business plan. This is a business plan for life. This is so anticlimactic. We're back to this being boring again. So you're just choosing what your business is going to be. Making a plan. That's manifestation. You're making a plan. And then you're knowing all the steps to the end result. And then you execute. Wow, this is just business. This is so fucking... Like I said, the more I study divination, the more it really loses its bells and whistles. It's like, look at the beautiful plant reaching toward the sunlight. The sunlight swells up the cells in the plant, making it heavy with water, and it leans toward the light because it's overweight. That's me taking the magic out of why your plants turn toward the light. Science ruins everything. Science annihilates magic because it's just not magical. It's really like, wow, the stars and the gods, and it's a clock. It's just a clock. Wow, you can see the future, or I can read a map, mathematics, and I'm logical. Yeah. Wow, manifestation and divination, or it's a business plan using logic and math. I love math. Math just takes the fun out of everything. I love math. Math is my favorite thing in the world. All right, then. So, this has shifted my perspective. I feel so fucking good. Now, this is where I poke around in my brain. How's that narcissism doing? Oh, yes. So this was the other part that I was like thinking on today in the shower, because I was like, narcissism. Why would he connect with me? Well, I know why I would connect with him. Why? So this is really is. If love, what is the purpose of love? Why do we love? I will tell you why we love. Now, I value him, and he confirmed yesterday in his very beautiful, his way. I love his ways. He came back and he's like, I value you. He did not say those words because he's him. He plays chess. His subconscious mind, oh my God. You know, I give it to him. I give it to him. I thought my subconscious mind was a fucking bitch. His is a doozy. His is like, it's like my subconscious mind squared, cubed. It's like someone took my subconscious mind and I told you, he's smarter than me. That man is fucking smarter than me. It's beautiful. Oh my God, it's insane. And it's oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. He outlogicizes me. So we'll get into these psychological debates and I can't best him because his subconscious mind plays so many. Like, I know how to get around subconscious minds. I know how to pin down a subconscious mind and go, look, this is your truth. His, I will try and do that. I have tried it. Well, I haven't done it in a long time, but I would try and do that with him. And I'm just like, why can't your subconscious mind stay still? And it's because when you are working with a subconscious mind, you have to play chess with your subconscious mind. You have to become smarter than your subconscious mind to outlogicize it. But if you're really fucking smart, that subconscious mind is going to get really fucking crafty. Hypothesis: the subconscious mind is sentient. I hypothesize that the subconscious mind is a you of I that reflects exactly and precisely your own intelligence. So you are getting into a war with the self. I believe that the you of I is your subconscious mind. This is very fucking deep, by the way. Like, philosophers are going to be analyzing the shit indefinitely. There is the I of I within the self. And then there is the internal you of I, which is the subconscious mind. The I of I, in this case, would be the conscious awareness. And the they of I haven't figured that part out yet. But there is definitely this mirroring thing happening between the subconscious mind and the conscious awareness. Maybe even perhaps the identity. And the ego is the they of I. Perhaps. So that the id is the I of I, the they of I is the ego. Interesting. Yes, I would say the ego is the combination of the subconscious mind and the id. Now here, get this. The identity has consciousness because it is of the self, but the you of I is not. Therefore, it is sentient, which is why it's so fucking difficult to outsmart. Now, because of the reflection happening, the mirroring response, the you of I is going to repeat and mimic mirror response, the identity. See how fucking difficult this gets. So if you are a fucking genius, the you of I is going to mirror that genius, and now the ego has to outsmart the you of I. So when I confront people, I'm going, all right, I can definitely sit down and show you a mirror of truth and we can talk about this. And I do, I show you a mirror of truth. Because then your subconscious mind reflects your mirror of truth and you start mirroring your own truth. That's how my psychology works. I show you a mirror of truth. Only I show you who you really are. And when I show you your truth, it breaks the spell. I learned that from Don Quixote. But I couldn't show his. Every time I tried to show his subconscious mind the mirror of truth, he would outmaneuver me. He's the only subconscious mind that's ever outmaneuvered me. I'm like, oh, how the fuck does that happen? It's extraordinary. Well, he figured it out, and he's now outmaneuvering himself. Only he can play chess with himself. And I'm sitting here asking the question, why would anyone love me? People don't. I have no proof of concept. He is my proof of concept. I am his proof of concept. That's why we had such a problem with all of this, is because we are each other's proof of concept. And there was this sudden realization that I don't even know how to begin to explain it. To love is to value without gain or proof. But why would we love? I value him, he values me. Oh, I learned last night that I do very much still love him. And then I realized I was having a problem with him accepting my love because I was accepting his love. There's the mirroring again. And then I asked the question, why would anyone love? To connect. Came the question, who would you connect with? And I said, no one will be allowed to connect with me. What does connection mean? I've never experienced it. I see the emotional transactions, gifting, receiving, gratitude, open to connect. And then what? What's next? I don't know what's next. I've never been here before. No one has, that I know of. Not consciously. This is undefined. This is unwalked territory. So I'm going, gifting, receiving, gratitude, invitation, open. Think about physics again. Go back to the energy. Energy goes. What happens during a connection? I may look it up. What happens in physics? I have no idea. Physics connection. In mathematics and specifically differential geometry, connection form is a manner of organizing the data of a connection using the language of moving. In mathematics and specifically differential geometry, a connection form is a manner of organizing the data of a connection using the language of moving frames in differential forms. Historically, connection forms were introduced. Blah, 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 blah. Of physics, connection forms are also usually broadened in the context of gauge theory. The type of field theory in which the Lagrangian and hence the dynamics of the system itself do not change under local transformation. A connection form associates to each basis of a vector bundle a matrix of differential forms. Connection form is not tensor because under a change of basis. Frames on a vector bundle. Let E be a vector bundle, fiber dimension K over differential manifold mass. A local frame for energy is an ordered basis of local sections of energy. It's also possible to construct a local frame trigonometry is just the language for physics. This is just trigonometry. It's just energy and mass. It's just a map. Trigonometry is just a language to translate physics. So physics is an abstract. Clocks were used to translate time from the abstract. Clocks were used in the corporeal world to translate time from the abstract. But there's the abstract definition, and then there is the concrete definition. Are you ready to have your mind blown? And then there is astronomy, which is abstract in a way. But then there is the concrete, which is the actual map of the stars and planets. That's the motion and the timing combined with the clocks that make it a moving map. It is a moving map. The calendar is concrete, but the abstract is the map and the time of stars. Mathematics is the abstract of measurement, of measuring the abstract. That's what mathematics really is. You are measuring the abstract world. You see, I grew up in the abstract, so I see things differently. And then calculus is translating change, ratio to change. Why does the word vector come into my mind right now? What does vector mean? Quantity or phenomenon has two independent properties, magnitude and direction. I don't know why, but calculus, the change, ratio, and vector. But it puts it in concrete thinker form so that people can understand it. But trigonometry is physics. Oh, that is laying out physics like I can see physics. It's like mapping physics. It's translating it. It's communicating it. Physics exists inside the trig. Vector, change, exists inside calculus. Mathematics is measuring the abstract inside the math. It's measurement inside the math. The map and the time and the motions of the stars and the calendar, well, in space, the clock that we can see in the abstract, in the omniscient point of view, is achievable and comprehended in the calendar. Money's funny. Money is value and worth. The abstract concept of value and worth put in a corporeal, concrete concept of money. Isn't that funny? And these people pursue, but there's only power and value, no, isn't there? Which makes money obsolete if you don't value it. You want to take down a monetary system? Stop valuing the money. You want to free yourself from money? Don't value it. It's the people that put money as a priority, not the government, the people. Like I said, I walked outside yesterday and I just looked out at the world and I went, everything is mathematics and physics. Everything is mathematics and physics. And suddenly I was certain and calm. It's Saturday. I thought today was Sunday. Wow. Perspective. That's what you get from the self-defined. When you know your past, you know your present, you know your future, you have self-perspective. Oh, those are lovely words. Self-perspective. Oh, well, no wonder why we're all fucked up. You need to have your past defined, your past self defined. You need to have your present self defined. And you need to have your future self defined. Now you have self-perspective. That's deep. That's real fucking deep. Well, I do believe my existential crisis has been ended. That only took a long time. Wow. I know who I am. Wow. Knowledge. Self-perspective. You cannot build. You cannot build. That's the first person point of view. The first person point of view is self-perspective. Second person point of view. Second person point of view, that is empathy perspective. Second person point of view, empathy. Self perspective, empathy perspective. He said to me, can't you put yourself in other people's shoes? No. You have to know the self in order to do that. You have to have the self defined in order to reflect a you of I. Because the you of I is just a mirror. But if you don't know who you are, I was looking up connection. What happens when we connect? What happens when two energies, when two entities connect? I can't tell what these questions are. Am I looking at electricity? I have no idea what these are. Many-to-many relationship is a type of cardinality that refers to a relationship between two entities in an entity relationship diagram. Entity relationship. What does this mean? Two parents. Parents. God, I wish I could understand. There's a wall. Because I'm not there yet. That's why I'm at the end of my perspective. I know what this is. This is, okay, so I'm seeking information that's in the next perspective and I'm not there yet. So I'm going, yeah, this is what I don't know. This is exactly what it feels like when you're trying to figure out a future perspective and you're going, it's undefined. That's what I'm trying to cheat. And I just haven't gotten there yet to define all this shit. So this is fun. Yeah, this is where it's an adventure and I'm the explorer and I just got to wait and figure this shit out. All right. I'm going to go think about life, the universe and everything now. And I'm probably going to go read some physics and study. And I got to think some more. I've had a lot of epiphanies in the last 48 hours. I can feel it. I am reaching the end of this perspective. I very much feel it. And it's not there yet. I don't know where I am in it. There's usually 12 stages in each perspective. And I have not yet intricately mapped out the 12 stages. I don't know if, of course, it's possible. I just haven't done it because I'm usually so flabbergasted by, whoa, that I just don't map and document the intricacies of, you had an epiphany on this day. You had an epiphany on this day. And I do. I map out every epiphany, and there's basically, you have a vial in your brain. This is all abstract and it's hypothetical. This is not hypothetical. It's you have a concept. You have a vial in your brain and it fills up with epiphany juice. And once it fills up max with epiphany juice, that's when the pop bursts and you get the next wave, and that's when you move on to the next perspective. How to fill up the vial with epiphany juice is you basically have to have epiphanies. You must have epiphanies. Epiphanies are achieved through knowledge and imagination and learning. You have to have imagination with knowledge and learning. You have to have your own authorship. So it's not just learning stuff out of books and just, you have to hypothesize your own shit. That is vital. You have to hypothesize your own shit. I need to let her know that there's somebody who was asking, and that's like, oh, that's it. You have to hypothesize your own shit. If you're just reading from someone else's material, you're not going to get an epiphany, which is why our education is stunted. It's because no one's having epiphanies. You're just going, okay, here's data. Okay, here's data. Okay, here's data. And you're just reading and parroting. That's not imaginative. You have to have imaginative learning. In order to have imaginative learning, you have to incite the epiphany effect. That's what I'm going to call it. The epiphany effect. Because epiphany releases chemicals. And it's the epiphany release of a chemical that dumps the hormones in your brain that allows the concoction to shift you to the next perspective. Do this enough times, 6 times, and your hippocampus finally gets enlarged enough to hook up to the electromagnetic field, and then you can feel the frequency. God, I love this math shit. And then when you feel the frequency, you realize how much everything is just mathematics and physics, and it's fucking awesome. And I love the order of everything. It's like there is no chaos. It's just everything is mathematically geometric, and it's pretty. I have this one thing. I love geometry. I have this beautiful painting, and it is literally a bunch of rectangles or a bunch of squares. It's squares within squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's 10. I love 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10. It's 10 by 10. So there's a bunch of squares in a square, and they're all earth tones. I'm a Taurus. Does that matter anymore? Interesting mathematical equation of why that matters. It's because that's based off of the 4 elements. The 4 elements now make sense because that's pulled off of Pythagoras' mathematical shit, which makes a lot more sense now. Because it depends upon the energy that's on the map at the time that I was born, which is basically the cocktail of energy that was around when I was born. Taurus was my energy cocktail. That's all. It's just an energy cocktail. That's on cycle and on repeat. That's all. Yeah, it's an energy cocktail. That's all it is. Like I said, it's really anticlimactic once you figure out the math. So for me, I love the earth tones. I love the browns. I love the browns and the reds. Oh my God, it's beautiful. And it gets into like these gorgeous soft blues at the bottom. And it's just like, this is geometrically appeasing to me. I am just so like, ooh, geometry. It's crazy. Yeah. I remember this one. I need to just paint them myself. Oh my God, that would give me so much pleasure. 2 canvases, and I would just paint the colors. And I would do like straight lines down. And then I would do these big dome things with a circle. I don't know why, but this really greatly gives me pleasure. And I don't know why. It's because there's such a gorgeous, precise order to it. It's like Saturn. Yeah, I wish I could understand that. Oh, of course I can. I'll figure it out. I'm going to do some math, I think. Yeah. You know, it's funny. One of the things that I do a lot of, it's my own little weird habit. I draw cubes all the time. I draw cubes so much. This is my doodle. This is my doodle that I am renowned for. I have been drawing these doodles my whole life, where I just, when I'm thinking, when I doodle, when I'm talking to somebody, I just draw cubes over and over again. I sketch them, I draw them, I shade them in over and over again Like it's to a point where like these are my doodles. And I've done these for decades where and it's so funny. When I was in art class, I remember I drew out the word Ioannes, which is Latin for Jonathan. And then I had it all laid out. And then I did all these perspectives so that all the IOANNES. And then I had different perspectives and I did cubes. And I had all the different perspectives of all the different blocks throughout the whole page. I really love geometry. Perspectives are related to geometry. You know, I bet you I can use geometry to map out the perspectives. Why didn't I think about that before? Because I can see it. It's geometry. I can see it so clear. I wonder what Euclidean geometry is. Because I'm so limited right now and I can feel it and it's getting annoying. Euclidean geometry. Parabolic geometry is a geometry that follows a set of propositions that are based on Euclid's 5 postulates. There are 2 types of Euclidean geometry: plane geometry, which is 2-dimensional Euclidean dimension. That's why I can map out the perspectives. I can actually draw a geometric formula to show you how to shift perspectives. 2-dimensional. There are 2 types of Euclidean geometry: plane, which is 2-dimensional, and solid, which is 3-dimensional. Euclidean geometry, because I can see it. Attributed to ancient Greek mathematicals Euclid, which he described in his textbook on geometry. He had a textbook on geometry. Ooh, now I want to learn more about Euclid. Details from Raphael's The School of Athens, featuring the School of Athens. It's a fresco by the Italian Renaissance artist. The fresco was painted between 1509 and 1511 as part of Raphael's commission to decorate the rooms now known as the Stanze di Raffaello in the Apostolic Palace in the Vatican. Or Archimedes using a compass to draw a geometrical construction. The elements begin with plane geometry, still taught in technical high school as the first axiomatic system and the first example of mathematical proofs. Oh, I'm very familiar with mathematical proofs. It goes on to the solid geometry of 3 dimensions. Much of the elements state was, oh my God, I'm loving this stuff so much. Yeah, geometry. Projecting a sphere to a plane. So when you shift perspectives, you literally go from inside the point to outside the point. You're literally moving yourself outside the point. I'm going to use math to teach people how to do this. I know it. I know I can just show you. I just got to put the math together. Oh, I cannot wait until I upload all this information into my brain. Just want to upload this. This is what I see. This is exact. No, I'm not going to say that out loud because that's a patent. I have like 3 inventions in my head and I need to be careful what I say because I know patent law very, very well. Of course I know patent law, right? Patent, trademark, copyright. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to share that. All right. All right. I'm going to do this. Thank you so much for your audience. May the kindest of words always find you.